So it's the new year and 2021 is shaping up to either be the worst year since 2020 or the best year since they invented sliced bread. This time of year is filled with lots of well wishes and hopes and dreams for the future. However, an unfortunate truth is, by the time you're watching this, you've probably already given up on what it is you were trying to do as your New Year's resolution at the beginning of the year. In fact, some might even ask, do you even remember what your New Year's resolution was? Depending on how hard you partied or how hard you were locked in, you may not even know. But how long did it take you to give up on that resolution? Let us know in the comments down below. But more than likely, whatever your goals were for this year or are for this year, you more than likely took a large bite of the apple and fell short or will fall short, as we all do whenever we try and accomplish our goals. The key to really challenging yourself and the trajectory of your life is to come up with daily habits and daily routines that contribute to your fundamental long-term goals, among other things. In this video, we're going to go over those other things and how they have helped me and how they can and will help you accomplish your wildest dreams. So, gently, tenderly, lovingly, caress that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's dive right in. But real quick, before we even get started, you're watching Finance Squared, and I'm your host, Derek West. On Finance Squared, we're in the habit of providing you with the best content on personal finance, business, and entrepreneurship on the YouTubes. Speaking of habits, good habit formation can be the difference between living an average, humdrum life and living your best, most meaningful life. That, along with positive goals, can really transform a person from average into extraordinary. A positive daily habit, things like exercising and eating right every day, is fine if it is just something that you do every day, but it becomes powerful and life-changing when combined with near-term goals and long-term goals. And that is actually the first thing that we're going to talk about today. Listing out your daily goal, or to put it a different way, creating to-do lists. Every night before you go to bed, you should list out the 3 things that you absolutely need to accomplish the next day and 3 things that you hope to accomplish the next day. Those would be 6 daily goals that you should try to hit. Pro tip, you should try and hit them before lunch the next day. Now trust me, the earlier you get them out of the way, the more room you'll have for more tasks or even fun later on in the day. And I've seen many different methodologies for how many goals you should set up for the next day. Sometimes the goals vary. What if it's a weekend versus a weekday? What if I'm on vacation that week? What if, I don't know, what if aliens arrive? What if I forget to hit like and subscribe on this YouTube channel? Well, there are any number of reasons why you might not be able to hit all of your daily goals, but the point is to try and hit them all. And you should feel free to pick how many goals you want to accomplish the next day. The point is getting into the habit of creating goals and accomplishing them. It's better to start with an imperfect number than to never start at all. So, you're watching this video right now, start with 3 goals. 3 goals you need to hit, and 3 goals that you would like to meet. And try and get them all in by noon or even lunchtime. By noon or lunchtime, depending on when you actually eat your lunch. And if that number is not enough, then increase it. If the number is too large, then decrease it. But keep setting the goal and keep trying to meet them daily, whether or not you're on vacation, whether it's a weekend or what have you. And if you are on vacation, or if it is a weekend, make those goals fun related, but set them and then meet them. And soon you'll be exceeding them. When you do that, the new habit that you form would ideally be about supporting the long-term visions for how you see yourself and how you feel you fit into the world. If you can get into that rhythm over a couple of weeks, you're now perfecting the skill of short-term goal setting, at which point you can then begin to set near-term goals. Near-term goals are goals that really make sense in the scale of 6 months. Some people say up to a year or more. Keeping in mind there is no hard and fast rule on what the term near-term means. Some people say it means 6 months. Others say 5 years. The point is, it is a larger time frame than day to day or even week to week, and you can accomplish quite a lot if you set goals daily and set near-term goals that are, let's say, in the 6 month to 5 year range. So if these term durations seem too short to you or too long, just adjust them to what makes sense to you and your goals. That said though, a good example of a near-term goal would be, let's say as an example of personal fitness, to lose 20 pounds from a diet, or maybe to train to run 5 miles without stopping, or trying a new diet that will improve your health and productivity. Things like that. Those things really make sense in a longer window than a day or even a few weeks. But this is a personal finance and entrepreneurship related channel. So a good financial near-term goal would be to save $10,000 in your emergency fund, or have $35,000 invested over a year. Those are just example numbers. Adjust them to whatever your personal financial needs would be, for your emergency fund or for your investment goals. But again, it's all about creating and setting those goals. And creating those goals will contribute to your overall big goals that will eventually lead you to accomplishing your long-term goals. Long-term goals are really the big things in life you want to accomplish. Some things that you might want to consider, maybe if you're still young. A long-term goal would be graduating from college and getting a job. Now, if you were a young person, let's say about 10 or 12 years old, maybe even a teenager, and you thought to yourself, I want to one day graduate from college and get a job. You wouldn't think, well, I could do that in a day or two, or even in a year or two. You would necessarily think that, well, I really need to buckle down, take the time to start taking classes, rack up my college credits, and then at the end of 4, 6, or 8 or more years, put all that together into a college diploma. First get an internship, then apply to different jobs, interview, go through on-site visits, etc., eventually landing the position in your field of choice. And that's just one example of a long-term goal that you could set. Other long-term goals that a lot of people on YouTube have are to become a millionaire one day. That is certainly not something that you can accomplish in a single day, but something that will take time to accomplish. And the time to acquire the skills needed to get a job or start a company that people are going to pay decent money for is something that doesn't happen overnight. There's also the time to accumulate the money. There's the time to maintain discipline and not spend every nickel you get the second you get it. And also the discipline and savvy to invest the money to see it grow. You almost need to think of yourself as making moves on a chessboard. I would recommend a video from Patrick Bet-David on how to think like a grand chess master, or a chess grandmaster. Something master with chess and being grand. In a way, that video parallels what I'm talking about. It's about determining a long-term goal, breaking it down into near-term goals that you need to make, and then breaking those down further into short-term goals and even daily habits. Check it out. It's a pretty good video. I personally recommend it. And by the way, the more audacious the long-term goal, the better. In other words, if financial means are your goal, don't just pick being a millionaire. Pick being a billionaire, and not just any billionaire, the richest billionaire. Why such an audacious goal, you might ask? Why not just be more reasonable? Well, the more audacious the goal, the more that you'll be able to focus in to reach that goal. And if you should not reach the goal, you're probably going to get yourself pretty close. So always think large in terms of your long-term goals. But when you make those long-term goals, you have to reverse engineer what it would take to accomplish them. For example, to be a billionaire, like I just talked about. Oftentimes, it takes creating a company that many people purchase products or services from. That statement right there, creating a company that many people purchase from. That could be a good near-term goal of about, let's say, 5 to 10 years. Then break that down into short-term goals. Think to yourself, come up with things that people want to buy. Create something people want to buy. Things like that. And from those short-term goals, you can create daily goals that you want to hit. For example, you're going to explore 5 different products and their viability in a specific market. Or perhaps you're going to evaluate 5 different technologies to see if they meet the requirements for your app or for your technology company, whatever it could be. But I just went through all of that just to get to the daily habits that will build your short-term goals, that will build your near-term goals, that will eventually build your long-term goals. But one thing we need to caution on, goal setting for near-term, short-term, and long-term goals, things like to-do lists, etc. You need to be sure to time box each of them appropriately. Quick sidebar. Have you ever noticed that when you have a homework or a regular work assignment due, that you tend to spend as much time as possible procrastinating on and doing everything else, except the assignment that's worth 30% of your grade that you really need to ace if you're going to pull your average up from a C+ and maybe into an A- that will help you get your GPA. Sorry. Flashback to college. But miraculously, you get that assignment done the 6 hours or so before it's really due. That is a psychological phenomenon known as Parkinson's Law. In other words, your work will expand to fill the time available for its completion. So if you want to take advantage of that phenomenon, try and accomplish your goals as quickly as possible and really try and force yourself to get them done first and quickly. For near-term goals, try and compress that time schedule to force yourself to really try and do it as fast as possible. And start working on it the second you come up with it. Don't wait until the very end. The same with long-term goals. And the key to really nailing your goal is making sure that you have the sleep that you need to get everything done. Heck of a segue, wouldn't you agree? Getting 6 to 8 hours of sleep every night and going to bed and waking up at roughly the same time every day, weekend or not, vacation or not, is a great way to build momentum on any goal that you have, near or long term. Scientific studies have proven that getting a good night's sleep is critical for you to be able to efficiently perform all of your cognitive and physical tasks. A key to getting a good night's sleep is getting your body's circadian, not easy to pronounce, circadian rhythm on a consistent schedule. To do that, really just pick a time where it makes the most sense for you to go to sleep and wake up the next morning. If you're an early morning person, then be sure to go to sleep early enough to where you get enough sleep the night before. As a quick example, I'm fond of waking up anywhere from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. So I try and go to bed between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. the night before. If you're a night owl, like so many of us claim to be, then I suppose a late night of around about 1 to 2 p.m. for you is well worth it. A word of caution though, those late nights mean late mornings, and I find that most of my opportunities come in the morning. The best jobs I've ever had, I interviewed for early in the morning. The best business deals that I've ever landed all have happened in and around the mornings. There's just so much energy early in the morning, and quite a few go-getters and trendsetters have this philosophy as well. Now, that might just be anecdotal to me only, and the situation might be reversed for you. So I'm not saying that you need to do that to be successful, but if you want to flatten the learning and growth curve, keep that in mind. So with that consistent sleep schedule, you're bound to have plenty of extra waking hours filled with stress, trying to knock out items on your to-do list and reach your goals. Well, a good remedy for that is to meditate regularly. Now I know what you're thinking. Isn't that just some new age hippie crap that doesn't have any real effect on your daily life? Well, yeah, and no. Way to ride the fence, am I right? Well, yes, in that it became popular during the new age and hippie movements of the late 60s and 70s. But no, in that it will have an effect, and a real effect on your daily life. If you think back in history, meditation has been a common practice among many world religions and other philosophies, from Christianity to Buddhism to others. Truly meditating, that is, focusing in on your breathing and shutting out all influences from your life and stresses, really empower you to be more creative and positive, and to really tune out all the stuff that doesn't matter and focus in on what does, which is exactly the kind of clarity that you'll need to accomplish your goals. Daily exercise and/or going to the gym, depending on where you are in this world of ours and how locked down that particular part of that world is, going to the gym may or may not be possible for you. But for the very least, getting daily exercise should be on your daily habit list if you really want to succeed. Keeping in mind that true growth from working out comes in the recovery time after the workout. So don't overdo it just to try and go to the gym every day. Take it from me. I tried for the longest time to go to the gym twice a day, every day. I managed to accumulate a ton of overuse injuries in joints and muscle connection points. But that said, going to the gym on a regular cadence is probably one of the single most positive things you can do regularly that will make a true difference in your life. It will give you clarity that you never thought you could achieve, and will help you avoiding long-term illnesses that drive up your medical costs, particularly as you start to get long in the tooth. I've been working out consistently for almost 20 years now. 15, 35, more than 20 years now, as a matter of fact. And I can tell you that the positive effects go far beyond just being ripped and the feeling you get when you lift a weight that you never thought that you could. It really is about taking control of your life and improving incrementally in the short, near, and long term. And it's also a metaphor for how you can improve yourself in the short, near, and long term. Speaking about taking control of your life, be sure to take control of getting quality entrepreneurial and finance content by clicking the subscribe and notification bells so you can get the latest videos from this channel. And don't forget to like and drop a comment, letting us know about the habits that you picked up that help you to move forward day to day and accomplish your goals. Keeping in mind, we're talking about goals today. So a goal without a plan is a wish, and a goal with a plan and no action is a wish list. Take action on your finances and business and the habits that you form to accelerate your business and your finance. And we'll catch you next time. Peace.